Hey guys, I am Kyle, and in today's video I am going to show you how to make periodic table in Infinite Craft fastest method. So let's get started. So in this video we will be crafting the periodic table element itself, and it's 118 elements right here. So to get started we would need earth plus water. It's great. Plant, and then plant plus plant. It would be tree, and then tree plus tree, it would be forest. Once you have forest, add tree to create wood. And then you want to go for water plus fire. And then steam plus plant right here. And then tea plus wood. And then steam plus steam. Once you have this, then you'd have cloud, and then you want to add it with water. And then you want to go for rain plus forest to create rainforest. And then you want to add it with plant. And then once you have oxygen, mix it with table to create periodic. Once you have periodic, add it with tree, and then you would now have periodic table. So if this is the only thing that you want, then you can stop here. But we'll be going on and make all the elements that is included in the periodic table right here. So we're gonna go for the next one, which is oxygen plus water. Oxygen plus water to create hydrogen. So now we have hydrogen right here. The next thing is we're gonna go for table and steam right here, so that we would have iron. So now we have iron. And then the next thing is we're gonna go for iron plus earth right here, iron plus earth to create metal. Once you have metal, you want to go duplicate it to create gold, and now we have gold. And then the next thing is we are gonna go for a plant plus wind. And then you'd have dandelion. Once you have dandelion, you want to mix it with periodic table, and then you'd have helium, and now we have this. And then the next thing is we are going to go for dandelion plus water. So dandelion, and then we're going to go for water right here, and then you'd have wine. Once you have wine, you want to add it with fire to create alcohol. Once you have alcohol, add it with metal, and then you'd have tin. So let's just remove wood for now. And then the next thing is we're going to go for oxygen plus tin. So tin, oxygen, and then you'd have titanium. And then the next thing is we're gonna go for tin plus gold. You'd have bronze. Once you have bronze, add it with periodic table, you would have copper. And then once you have copper, the next thing is you would go for water plus water to create lake. And then periodic table plus lake would be mercury. Once you have mercury, the next thing is lake plus water right here. And then you'd have ocean. Once you have ocean, add it with earth. And then add the periodic table with island, you'd have iodine. So now we have that. And the next thing is we're going to go for island plus gold. And then island plus island right here to create continent. And then once you have continent, you want to go for table right here. You want to find table, add it with continent to create map. Once you have that, you want to go for map plus treasure, and it would be X right here. And then you want to add wind into X to create Y. Once you have Y, you want to go add it with periodic table. You would now have yttrium. So now the next thing is we are going to go for helium plus yttrium right here, yttrium. And then we're going to go for helium. So I can find it. So I'm just going to search it right here. And now we have ytterbium. And then the next thing is we're gonna go for y plus x right here. So it would be this one. Y right here. And then you would have z. Once you have z, the next thing is to add it with titanium. So we're gonna go for titanium right here. And then you'd have zirconium. So that's it. And then the next thing is we're gonna go for z plus tin right here. And then you would have zinc. And then the next thing is we're going to go for zinc plus X. We would have xenon. And then the next thing is we are going to go for xenon plus helium right here. So helium. And then we would have neon. And then the next thing is zinc plus continent right here. So continent, we would have America. Once you have America, the next thing is you want to go add it with periodic table. And then you would have americium. And yeah, that is it. And then the next thing is wind plus water. Wind plus earth right here, so that you'd have dust. And then you would need to add a fire into it. And then once you have ash, you want to add tree. And then you'd have pencil. Once you have pencil, add dust into it. So you would want dust right here. And then you want to go for periodic table plus eraser. So you're going to add periodic table again here. And then you'd have RB right here. And then add periodic table again to make it rubidium. And then once you have rubidium, the next thing is periodic table plus ash right here. And then you'd have carbon. And then the next thing is earth plus rubidium right here. And then you'd have radium. And then once you have radium, you would need rubidium again, and then another radium right here to create a radon. And now we have that. And then the next thing is we're gonna go for radon right here, and then we need ash right here. So we would have argon. And then once you have argon, the next thing is you wanna go for ocean right here, 2 oceans right there to create C. And then once you have C, you wanna go combine it with X. And then you'd have, once you have C, then you need to combine it with dust right here. Dust to create CD. And then you want to go combine it with argon right here. And then you'd have cadmium. And then the next thing is we're going to go for argon plus eraser right here. So argon. And then you want to go for eraser right here. And then you'd have arsenic right there. And then the next thing is we're going to go for neon plus steam right here. So steam, and you want to add that and then add them together. You'd have light. And then once you have light, you would want to combine it with T so that you'd have Lati. And then from here, you want to go combine it with periodic table next. So now you'd have lithium. Once you have lithium, the next thing is you want to go for light again. Light, and then you'd need arsenic. So you want to duplicate this, add it to light, and then you'd have phosphorus. And then the next thing is we are going to go for lithium and ytterbium. Lithium, and you want to find the ytterbium right here. Here it is. And we're going to combine it to create lutetium right there. The next thing is we're going to go for continent. Continent right here. We're going to go for continent, and then we need radon. So here. And then combine it to create Asia. Once you have Asia, combine it with lutetium. So right here, lutetium, and then you'd have aluminium. So you want to add this up. Then the next thing is we're going to go for arsenic right here. Arsenic plus T right here. We're going to go for T, and then you'd have poison. Once you have poison, you want to add it with island right here. Island right there. And now we'd have snake. Once you have snake, add it with periodic table, and then you'd have cobalt. And then the next thing is we're gonna go for copper and poison. So copper right here, and then we're gonna go for poison again, and then we would have green. Once you have green, add it with fire, and then you'd have chlorine. And then once you have this, then the next thing is we're gonna go for poison right here, and then you wanna add it with T right here. So you'd have sleep. Once you have sleep, you want to add it with Asia right here to create insomnia. Once you have insomnia, you want to make it with tantalum, or I mean you want to mix it with periodic table, I'm sorry. So you'd have tantalum right here. And then the next thing is you want to go for water plus plant right here. You want to go for plant right here. And you'd have swamp. Once you have swamp, you want to add it to tree. And then you want to add a periodic table to mangrove, and then you'd have manganese. And then the next thing is you want to go for manganese plus rubidium. So rubidium right here. And then you'd have magnesium. The next thing is we're going to go for manganese and add it with lake right here to create potassium right here. So now we have potassium. And then the next thing is we are going to go next for, we're going to go for potassium plus carbon right here for carbon. And then we would have krypton. And then the next thing is we're going to go for plant plus ocean. So plant right here. And then we need ocean right there to create coral. Once you have coral, you want to add it with periodic table. You would have calcium. And then once you have calcium, the next thing is you want to go for Asia. And then you want to go for mangrove right here to create India. Once you have India, you want to add it with yttrium right here. And then you would have indium. Once you have indium, the next thing is you want to go for insomnia. And then you want to combine it with dust. And then you would have allergies. Once you have allergies, you want to combine it with metal. And then there you have it. You now have nickel. And then once you have nickel, the next thing is you want to go for, the next thing is once you have nickel, you want to go for titanium plus nickel. Titanium right here. And then duplicate this, add it, and then you'd have nitinol. Once you have nitinol, you want to combine it with xenon. So now let's go for xenon right here. And then now you have nitrogen. Once you have nitrogen, the next thing is you want to go for neon plus nickel. Nickel right here, and then neon right there. And now you'd have neonickel. Once you have neonickel, add yttrium into it so that you would have neodymium. So now we have this. And then the next thing is we're going to go for earth plus earth right here. And then you'd have mountain, and then you want to go for lake, add it into mountain right here. And then you'd have Ford. Once you have Ford, you want to go for lake plus alcohol right here. You'd have vodka. And then once you have vodka, you want to go add these two up together to create Scandinavian, and then add it with yttrium right here, and then you'd have scandium. The next thing is we're going to go for Ford again right here. So we're going to go for Ford, and then you want to go for continent right here, and then add it with Ford to create Europe. Once you have Europe, add periodic table into it to create europium. And now once you have this, then the next thing is you want to go for europium plus eraser right here to create erbium. And now once you have erbium, you want to go for water plus ocean right here. Right there, add it with water, and then you'd have fish. Once you have fish, you want to add it with Europe right here, Europe. And then you'd have eel. Once you have eel, you want to add it with your periodic table. You'd have selenium right here. And then the next thing, once you have selenium, is to go for selenium plus iodine right here. Combine it, and you'd have technetium right there. And then the next thing is you want to go for technetium and selenium right here. These two right there, and then you'd have tellurium. And now the next thing is you want to go for island right here. Island plus green right here. So you need green, add it together to create Ireland. Once you have Ireland, the next thing is you want to add it with rubidium right there, and then you would have Dublin. Once you have Dublin, you want to add helium into it so that you would have dublinium. And then once you have dublinium, add it with technetium, you would have dubnium right here. So the next thing is we now need tellurium, and then we are gonna go for erbium right here. So now we have terbium right here, and then the next thing is we're gonna go for ash plus plant right here, so that we would have tobacco. Once you have tobacco, you want to go for dust plus wind right here in order for you to be able to make sandstorm. Once you have sandstorm, add it with water, and then once you have oasis, add it with tobacco. Then you would have hookah. Once you have hookah, you want to go for C right here, and then you want to go for tin right there, and then you would have computer. Once you have computer, you want to add a computer with oasis right here to create silicon. Now we have silicon right here, and then the next thing is we're gonna go for computer right here plus earth right here, and then you would have dirt. Once you have dirt, you want to add it with wood. Once you have wood, then you would have fence. Then once you have fence right here, you would need insomnia plus mop right here plus map right there. And then you would have lost. Once you have lost, you would combine it with fence. You would have stray. Once you have stray, combine it with rubidium right here. And then you would now have strontium. So yeah. And then we can just remove the hookah right here. We don't need that anymore. And then the next thing is we're gonna go for dirt plus Europe right here, and then Europe. And then you would have Germany. Once you have Germany, you would need oxygen right there, and then you would have germanium. Once you have germanium, the next thing is to need germanium again and add it with yttrium. You would have gadolinium right here. Once you have gadolinium, the next thing is Germany plus 3 right here, and then you would be able to get Christmas. Once you have Christmas, is to add periodic table into it, so that you would be able to create holmium. Once you have holmium, the next thing is now we will be able to use the hookah right here. Hookah plus periodic table, you would have bismuth. Once you have bismuth, you want to use it again, and you would need radium right here, so that you'd be able to create polonium. Once you have polonium, then you would need that right here, and then add it with bismuth. You would have plutonium. Once you have plutonium, the next thing is you want to go for arsenic plus bismuth right here, and then you would have antimony. So now you have antimony. The next thing is you want to go for bismuth again, and then this time you'd need zobnium right here, and then you would have borium right here. So now you have borium. The next thing is you want to use borium again and add it with terbium, and then you would have hafnium right here. And then the next thing is you want to go for radon plus technetium right here, and then you would have francium right here. So once you have francium, you want to add ash into it right here. So duplicate francium, add ash, so that you would have acetine. Once you have acetine, the next thing is you want to go for francium plus calcium right here, and then you'd have cesium right here, and then the next thing is we're gonna go for francium right here, and then you need to add it with lutetium, and then you would have fluorine. Once you have fluorine, the next is antimony plus earth right here, and then you would have lead. Once you have lead, you want to use it again, and this time you want to use terbium right here, terbium into lead, so that you would have tungsten. The next thing is you want to go for bismuth right here, bismuth and nitrogen right here, and you'd have boron. Once you have boron, the next thing is you want to use it again, and this time you want to add helium right here, and then you want to add it to create beryllium right there. And then once you have beryllium, you would need boron plus ocean to create you need ocean, and we would be able to create barium right here. And then once you have barium, the next thing is you need boron again, and then you would need krypton right here to create bromine. Once you have bromine, the next thing is boron again, and we're gonna go for technetium right here, and we'd be able to create tennessine. And then once you have tennessine, you want to use it again, and you want to add it with hafnium right here, and then you'd have haschum. Once you have haschum, you would need haschum again, and add it with barium right here. So you would need barium. We're just gonna search this right here, and then you would have meitnerium. So let's proceed, and then the next thing is we're gonna need tennessine plus selenium right here to create seaborgium. Once you have this, then another tennessine, and then add it with calcium right here, and then you would have californium. Once you have californium, you want to go for tennessine again, and then you want to add it with a francium right here, and then you would have flerovium. Once you have flerovium, tennessine again, and then we're gonna add it with copper this time. We're gonna go for copper, and here it is, and add it to create röntgenium. So once you have this one, then the next thing is you want to go duplicate this, and then you want to add eraser into it. So let's add eraser, and then we would be able to get rhenium right here. So once you have rhenium, you want to duplicate that, and you want to go and mix it with zirconium, and we would have rhodium right here. Once you have rhodium, you would need to duplicate that and combine it with computer right here, so that you would have chromium. Once you have chromium, the next thing is you would need rhodium again and combine it with T this time right there, and then we would have silver. Once you have silver, the next thing is you want to go rhodium again, and then mix it with iodine, And now we have iodine right here. And now we have iridium. Once you have iridium, you want to duplicate it and combine it with lutetium. And then you would have osmium. Then the next thing is we're going to go for iridium right here. Iridium. And then we're going to go for barium. And then there you go. We now have dysprosium right there. We're just gonna put it here. Oops. We're gonna go for dysprosium again because it disappeared right here. We're just gonna place it right here. And now the next thing, once you have dysprosium, you wanna go duplicate it, and then you wanna go combine it with haschum right here. Haschum. And we would have darmstadtium. And then once you have that, you wanna go duplicate that and combine it with haschum again. And then you would have copernicium. Once you have copernicium, you want to go for dysprosium right here plus technetium. So we're going to go for technetium right here. And then you would have prometium. Once you have prometium, the next thing that you should do is prometium plus rubidium. Plus rubidium right here. So let me just search for it. Rubidium. And then you would have this element, I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's it. Then prometium right here, and then we would need to make scandium next. Scandium, and then mix it with this one to create a samarium right here. And then the next thing is we want to go for prometium plus. You want to mix it with prometium plus xenon right here. So xenon right here, and then you would have protactinium. Once you have that, then you need the protactinium again, and then you would want to combine it with another protactinium, so it would be doubled, and you would have uranium. Once you have uranium, you want to duplicate that and then add Ford into it right here, so that you would have thorium. The next thing is we're going to go for californium, and then we want to add it with radium right here. Radium, so that we would have berkelium. So once you have berkelium, the next thing is you want to go for californium, and then you want to go for radon right here, radon, and then you would have rutherfordium right here, and then once you have rutherfordium, you want to add it with polonium right here, polonium. And then we would have curium. Once you have curium, you want to go for californium. Again, californium right here. And then you want to go and add it with rutherfordium. So right here. And then we would have einsteinium right here. So once you have einsteinium, you want to go for californium again. Californium right here. And then you want to add it with dubnium right here. Dubnium. This one right here. And then we would have nobelium. So once you have nobelium, the next thing is you want to go for nobelium again, and then you want to add it with protactinium right here, protactinium. And then you would have fermium. Once you have fermium, you want to go for lutetium right here, lutetium right here. And then the next thing is to add it with nobelium right here. And then once you have lawrencium, the next thing is you want to go for tennessine plus bismuth. So bismuth is right here. And then we add it with tennessine right here. So now we would have nihonium. Once you have nihonium, you want to go for tennessine again. For tennessine. And then in this time, you would be adding nihonium into it. So nihonium to create moscovium right here. And then once you have moscovium, you want to go for moscovium. And then this time you want to go for manganese right here, manganese with moscovium, so that you'd have mendelevium. Once you have mendelevium, you want to go for moscovium again and add it with nihonium. Nihonium right here. And then you would have oganesson. So once you have oganesson, the next thing is moscovium plus technetium right here. Plus technetium right here. And then you would have livermorium. Once you have livermorium, you want to go for bromine. And then you would need to go for zirconium right here. And then once you have zirconium, you want to go for once you have brimstone, you want to go for brimstone again. And then you want to go for periodic table, add it with brimstone, and then you would have sulfur. And now once you have the sulfur right here, the next thing is you want to go for sulfur again, plus iodine right here, so that you would have sodium. So once you have sodium, you want to go for aluminum plus a sulfur right here, so that you would have alum. Once you have alum, you want to add it with zinc right here, so that you would have gallium right here. So now once you have gallium, you want to go for gallium again and add it with sulfur to create thallium. So once you have thallium, you would need thallium again, and then you would add it with thorium right here. So you would need this thorium, and then you would have thulium right here. So once you have thulium, you want to go duplicate that and add lake into it. So you want to go for lake right here, and then add it with thulium, you would have lanthanum. Once you have lanthanum, you want to go duplicate that and add earth right here, and then we would have cerium. Once you have cerium, the next thing is you want to go for lanthanum plus thorium right here. So thorium right here, and then you would have actinium. So once you have actinium, you want to go for helium plus once you have actinium, you want to go for helium plus rhoet-gadnium. So rhoet here, you want to add this here, and then you'd have hero. Once you have hero, you want to add oasis into it, oasis, and then you would have paladin. Once you have paladin, you want to go add it with tellurium right here, and you'd have palladium. Once you have the palladium, you want to add it with gold right here. You want to duplicate that and then add gold into it, and then you would have platinum right here. And once you have platinum, you want to go duplicate it again. This time we're going to go for neon right here, combine it with neon right here, and then we would have neptunium. Once you have neptunium, you're going to go for america right here plus wood right here, so that you would have a baseball bat. Once you have baseball bat, you want to go add america again, add america, and then you would have Beirut. Once you have Beirut, you want to add it with periodic table right here, and you would have ruthenium. Once you have ruthenium, you would need to go for fence right here, fence plus mountain right here, and then you would have wall. Once you have wall, you want to add it with dandelion, and then you'd have graffiti. Once you have graffiti, you want to add it with baseball bat right here to create vandal. Once you have vandal, you want to add it with ytterbium, and then you would have vandalibium. And now I just moved the elements slightly a bit so that we would have more space to work on. So the next thing, once you have vandalibium, you want to add it with manganese. So you want to add it here, and then you would have vanadium. Now, once you have vanadium, you would need to duplicate vanadium again, and then you would want to combine vanadium with neonickel right here, and then you would have niobium right here. So now you have niobium. Once you have niobium, you want to go for chlorine plus mercury. Chlorine right here, and then you want to add it with mercury right here, mercury. And then you would have teeth right here, and then once you have teeth, you want to add it with manganese, and then you would have molar for this one. So add it with manganese, you have molar, and then once you have molar, you want to add it with niobium, and then there you go, you now have molybdenum. And now we are now finished with all the 118 elements in the periodic table. So yeah, you just need to follow me with the steps that I have shown you right here, and all that's left, if you want, this is just optional, you can rearrange them according to their arrangement in the periodic table. That's up to you. You can just find them right here on the right side. So that is basically it for this video. Thank you for watching.